And yes. All right, so first podcast ever. I'm Esmond. It's Gabriel. This is Smith. Smith, who are you? Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Smith. So I play Magic law. Okay, so I think, do you really want to go into this? Okay, so Smith, I run this whole stupid House of EDH thing, but I hardly do anything. So I would rather like do content with Esmond, and also that's where we were like, hey, come, let's do some podcasts. Let's talk about Magic, man. Instead of just playing Magic, let's talk about Magic.
Yeah. You've seen him a few times on the channel. You'll see him a bit more, and he's also going to be kind of managing this whole podcast session. He's the one who's come up with the topics. He's going to guide us along this journey as we explore Kindred decks. What are Kindred decks?
The very first episode, we're going to look into Kindred decks, or some people call it tribal decks.
Which we can't say anymore because we don't want to offend anyone.
Yep.
But if we do say it, then just don't say anything.
And also sometimes if you check out EDH Rec, they call it typo.
Typo, yes.
Yeah, typo as well. So there are a few ways to talk about it, right? Yeah. Basically, it's about the different kind of creature types.
Yes.
Right? What's your favorite creature type?
Mine, spirits.
Spirits?
Spirits, yes.
Oh.
That's a good choice.
I do some spirits sometimes also.
It's a very competitive EDH, modern, even pioneer deck.
Yes, exactly. That's how I started with spirits, actually.
So that's your history.
Yes, yes. But okay, before we get into that, so why we have this podcast is because we want diverse opinions, we want different viewpoints, and I think, Smith, you are generally more into CEDH.
I do play a little bit of CEDH, but I largely play EDH with like different power levels. I like to visit different LGS, play with different people. So I don't really have a very fixed pot these days. So it's just like me going to like the likes of Table Minis, Mox and Lotus, and whatever, Game 7, Mana Pro, and things like this.
Yeah.
More drop-in player.
Yeah. So sometimes I will go visit like different of their like, you know, Telegram chat or like WhatsApp group. I look for game, that kind of stuff. So I think that's definitely one of the reasons why I like to do this podcast as well. Is because like if you keep playing with your own pot, there are certain things that you are like you guys just play the same way, start using the same card. But if you go different places, try to play with different people, then you realize that it challenges me to build my deck differently as well.
So should we rename our podcast as the Commander Pod?
The Commander Pod.
Oh,
yeah, the Commander Pod.
The Commander Pod. 3-man team. No more.
But I mean, Gabriel, you also have slightly different viewpoints when it comes to Commander, right? Like,
yes, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, currently, where are you at in your like Commander experience?
I think I am a more casual player. I like to have a nice power level, but my main goal when it comes to Commander is always building around the Commander itself. So the flavor, the theme, it's always Commander-centric as compared to the general meta of winning or losing. So I have come to a point, you know, I used to be able to, I always wanted to win. If I don't win, you know, there's a little bit of salt. But now it's okay to lose, you know, as long as I have fun.
Yes.
I get to play my deck, it does its thing.
Because you started losing a lot, so you just like tell
yourself, just forget about it.
It's not copium. It's not copium. No way, in any way it's copium, but it's fun. So things like Warhammer decks that I really love. So, you know, Warhammer, Kindred Warhammer, or Kindred Universes Beyond. Those are quite interesting to me.
Yeah. So for me, I like it when the game, you know, everyone gets to pop off a bit, all the decks do their things. And yeah, same as you, I like to build my decks around a commander, around a team. And that's why Kindred is one of my favorite kind of decks to build around. I have so many Kindred decks.
Oh, and in fact, these days, Wizards has been leaning a lot into it, right?
Yes.
Like the very new, like the Boom Burrow, the whole set of it, there's a lot of different Kindred characters as well. We have the rabbits. I built the rabbits, right? And then we have the raccoons. We have all these like birds, frogs, and everything. So I think that's pretty interesting that you can see even the few sets before it. Like there was the pre-con with the Eldrazi as well,
Yes.
right? And I remember the spirit one was Crimson Vow.
Spirits and vampires.
So that's pretty interesting. I think it's also one of those, I would say it's one of the very good starting point for many newer players as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's very easy, like you open a set, there's a lot of the same kind of creature type, you just put them together. It's, I think, one of the easiest way to learn how to build a new deck, actually. Yeah.
Okay, So let's begin.
Right.
What do we have?
Yes, so we have some topics and stuff like this, and which we probably already have moved into some of these questions actually.
So you're moderating this.
Yes, I will moderate this. I will try to moderate this.
Yes.
It's, like I said, it's our
Very
first
good.
time. So please be kind, YouTube and commenters. So we try to see how this goes,
Let's
right?
go.
Okay, so I think, hey, he hasn't gone live, right? With all the games. So I think over how this thing started or why we land on this Kindred deck topic, right? So the very first thing was because we were actually shooting, so spoiler alert, right? Spoiler alert, we have been shooting a few episodes of Kindred decks where we're trying to discover or find out who is the best creature type.
Bloom
right?
Barrow decks.
Yeah, Bloom Barrow decks, as well as some of the other Kindred creature type as well. So we were talking about it, we were like, hey, why don't we just, instead of just playing and showing, let's have a discussion about it as well.
Yep.
And of course, during the process of everyone brewing their own Kindred decks, then a lot of questions came out. Like, what exactly makes a Kindred deck?
Yep.
Is it purely just because I have 20 creatures of the same type, 25, 30, or what if I have a Kindred deck, but end up I slot in a combo and I won in turn 4? I'm not saying who.
Okay, so that's where we are. What we are starting with, the definition of a Kindred deck. Yes.
Exactly. So how do we decide, and what exactly is Kindred deck to you guys?
Okay, Gabriel first.
A Kindred deck to me is very simple. The commander and the creatures, at least 2 or 3 creatures, is a Kindred Lord.
Wait, what? Wait.
Lord.
So you need a commander and 2 creatures of the same type.
Okay, elves.
Okay.
You need to have an elf commander.
Okay.
Okay, that says all my elves, if I pay a certain amount of mana, it gets overrun. +2/+2 trample.
Okay. So that's one criteria.
Okay.
And then?
Another criteria is that the base creature itself, not talking about sorceries or instants, should interact with the Kindred archetype.
All the creatures.
Most or majority of, like for example, Princess of Titanium.
Prince of
Prince of
Titanium.
Prince of Titanium.
Yeah.
And other +1/+1 lords.
All the elves, basically.
All
All
the
the elves,
elves.
like elves get.
Yes.
There was one that gained Forest Walk, Elvish Champion. Was it Elvish Champion?
Elvish-
Yes, Elvish
Elvish
champion.
champion.
Elvish Champion, right?
So I think there must be some
The
synergy
synergy between all these
some
people.
cohesiveness between the various creature types. I think that would represent a Kindred deck as compared to a team deck, which Esmond will talk more about.
No, so wait, I still have more questions.
More
so,
questions.
so do you mean that a majority of the creatures, but is there a certain amount of creatures that must
Exactly.
be elves, for
Exactly.
example?
I would. The way I previously built an elf deck is, I think 80 to 90% would be elves. But for example, if there is a non-elf, like symbiote, Wirewood symbiote,
Yes.
it interacts with elves to support the elf archetype.
Yep. Understand.
Yep.
So it's still elf-centric, and you have to play with the. Okay, I'm just using elf as an example. You have to push the elf archetype and interact within the elf to win the game. It's not like suddenly Tartar's Oracle, which is not elf.
So Tassa Oracle inside a Merfolk deck.
Okay, if it's the Merfolk deck,
Sure.
and it can be a win con. Don't get me wrong, it's a good win con. But I feel that if I keep using it to win, it defeats the purpose of playing multiple Merfolks and getting the feel.
So it could be a plan B, a plan C.
Yeah, like the game mode goes on too long.
Yeah.
Okay, forget it. I'm just gonna win.
At least it's a merfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, unlike you, I don't think in terms of percentages because if you only have 10 creatures, 8 of them are elves, it doesn't make it an elf deck.
What kind of
So, okay,
definition would
so
you
when
use?
I think of deck construction, right, 40% of the deck is lands.
Yep.
So you have 60 non-land cards. So to me, a Kindred deck is one that out of these 60 cards, 30 of them say, like, support the
synergy
type.
of it, right?
Yes.
The creature type.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, half the non-land cards in the deck care about that creature type. Or, creature types in general, like Kindred Discovery.
Yes.
I take that as a really good Kindred
Yep.
card.
Agree.
right?
Agree. In fact, that's Yeah, in fact, you're skipping. Hey, that's one of those things that we're going to talk about, like the best Kindred supporting cards. But never mind. Yes, so great. So you see, so that's where we are at, right? With this whole thing, like, oh, it's a creature type. It's
Wait. What's
right?
your criteria?
So for me, I try my best to. Okay, so it depends on which one. So I personally have a few of those Kindred decks.
Okay.
But I also like to add additional layers of challenges to myself to say, like, this is what it is. But of course, there are certain decks that, like I said, I have like, personally, I have like 30, 40 different decks for different power level. So there are some of them that say, for example, like my human deck. Okay, the human deck is a very simple one. We really try to challenge myself. Pure human, like everything is human.
Everything, all the creatures are humans.
All the creatures are human, for example.
I like that.
Yeah, because I think it really depends on the creature type or how Wizards has designed the card as well, right?
Yeah.
So because the humans already default helps human easily, right? But whereas if you talk about elves, there are a few cards like the fairy, insect, that actually bounces the elves and things like this. So there will be times that you're like, okay, I want to put in a few of these guys, right?
Yeah.
But whereas it comes to, for example, dragons. Dragons are strong by itself. Like, I'm just going to stuff 100% of them. They are just dragons. So to me, Kindred deck, it's as long as the way you play, you depend on the Kindred synergy. Very close to what Gabriel is talking about, right? It's about the dependency on that type. And even if it's like a merfolk deck, you want to depend on a Tassaracle or to win it, for example. I mean, so be it. At least it's still part of a merfolk. It's still part of the merfolk.
No, but where is the line? Y'all don't have a clear line. Like, for example, humans, you say like all the creatures are humans. But how many creatures is that? 2.
Oh, okay.
5.
Okay, so for me, I guess it really depends. Right? For me, I like combat. Yeah. Unless I'm talking about, like, I'm playing high power, there will be combos and stuff like this, right? But the combat stuff, usually my deck building make me have like around like 30 creatures, 25, 30 creatures thereabout. Yeah. But just now when I heard you were saying like, 40 land, all land, I was like, oh, okay. I don't play 40 lands. I'm very, very stingy on my land. I play like 30 of them. Average, my deck lands.
That's great. Then you got more space for the creature types.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, I don't think there is a clear line, but there are some competition or like those LGS whole help event when they wanted. There was once I joined one as well before. It's like one of those EDH league, right? At one of these LGS where they set the rule, like 23, 24, 25, something like this, if I remember correctly. So to me, it's really about if you are able to find a pot and then you want to set some rules and play together. I think that's fine. I think that's going to be quite fun. Like I once actually tried like doing such things like, this week let's all of us build mono raid. Or like almost as
let's
if
get back on track.
Game, right? Game. Yes, of course. So to me, end of the day, it's about how we set the bottom line. How we set the bottom line.
So what I see from both of you is that y'all don't really have a limit.
Yeah.
Y'all are just like, okay, I build it. As long as the deck supports this creature type, then sure.
I will add to that. To elaborate further, the decks I built should win with the Kindred archetype.
By combat?
By combat or otherwise. For example, Azuri, his ability only affects elves.
Yeah.
Right?
Which Azuri?
Renegade Leader.
Okay.
Best elf commander.
Okay.
Even Lathril, Blade of the Elves.
Yes.
Also elf-centric win con.
So what if you Masshood Nexus and you turn all your non-elves into elves?
That's cheating.
Yes. Masshood Nexus in this conversation is cheating. I agree.
That's cheating.
Cheating.
It's like saying that enchantment is a Kindred deck.
Oh wow, that's a whole other topic. Okay.
That's a theme, right? That's more like a theme.
Yeah, that's a theme.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So I agree with that.
But what if my elves? What if my elves and I beat down by elves, but my win con was Crater Hoof?
Yes.
Then you see, elves works together with nature. If they need help, they are able to summon nature through, like Court of Calling. It's very elf.
We will leave it to the viewers to decide if this works.
But that's what I don't agree. Like, if you put Moonshaker Cavalry in your human deck and you say, my humans get flying and plus, I say that's not a typo win.
Shaman of the Pack is okay.
What does that do?
Enters the
Shaman.
battlefield. When card enters the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to number
Oh
of
yeah,
elves you
yeah,
control.
yeah. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's a
because
that's
it's
a fantastic
written,
win con.
It's written
Yeah,
that
yeah.
elves.
Yeah, and it cares about the elves you control already.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's an elf.
It's an elf.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Elf deck battle.
Okay, so like for example, just to really drive in the point, I have like 5C humans. I have 5C dragons.
Okay.
Neither of them play any non-humans or non-dragons. I don't even play Birds of Paradise.
Oh.
I don't play like Bloom Tender.
Very
I don't.
strict.
Yes, I
Very
don't play
strict.
Ornithopter of Paradise. You know that kind of thing. So it's like 100% of the creatures in those decks are the same type.
That's very,
So
very
you would say
strict.
Wirewood Symbiote is not. If you're building an elf deck,
Yeah.
Wirewood Symbiote cannot be inside.
I mean, I wouldn't put it in personally, but I wouldn't fault anyone for putting
Fair
it in
enough,
because
fair enough.
That's fair.
it says elves. You know, it's like a fine.
As long as the
It
card
passes the
says
threshold.
elf.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
but I wouldn't feel great about having it in my
I
deck.
mean, we all have different definitions
Yes.
to build our decks, so it's fun to us.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have the next question. How do we even decide on what Kindred decks do you build?
Right.
Because you said you like spirits, right?
yes.
But then you also mentioned you have dragons. So is it like, oh, there's a new commander which is this creature type, you like it, and there's a synergy, and then you just decide to like, oh, let's build? Or is it like you're just very strict about it? Like, I only want to play spirit. I want to be known as the spirit guy in my LGS, for example. How do you guys even decide?
Okay. So let me go first. I have a very funny story because you mentioned enchantments.
Yep.
So that's exactly how I started with this. Like,
I remember those days. So painful.
why?
Look at my tribal Kindred enchantment deck. Everybody looks at him and is like,
Oh, so that was the story pointed at him.
So my first commander was Tsubasa. I bought the Precon
I
2016.
recall.
S-Street. Yeah. And so it was amazing. I loved playing it. I still have it. One of my favorite decks. And then you just play enchantments. You just keep everything as an enchantment. I have like
And you draw cards.
even my creatures are enchantments. Like it's ridiculous. So from there, I decided that I like this kind of theme because every card supports each other, and everything kind of, you care about the synergy between the cards that care about the same type. Yeah. So from there, I went into Earth Dragon. That's where I fell in love with the 5-color thing. And dragons are fun, right? Dragons are strong, they're powerful. And initially when I started, it was like I put in Birds of Paradise and all that. But how I decided to pick Earth Dragon is because of the experience I had with Tsubasa.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because I was like, oh look, everything's an enchantment. Everything cares about enchantments. Can I do the same thing for dragons?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because the one thing about Tsubasa is that she's 3-color. So I cannot play red and black enchantments.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to build something in the same, idea, but 5-color. And then from there, I just went crazy lah. I just started building so many different kind of creature types. I went into spirits because I like modern spirits.
Okay.
Okay. Humans also was a big thing in modern, so I decided to build humans. And then when Lord of the Rings precons came out with humans,
Oh, yes.
yeah, Eowyn, it was amazing. I was like, the human support is so strong.
Yes, very
It's no
very
longer
strong.
just random humans caring about nothing much. It's really humans caring about humans. And that's what I enjoyed about the type. Yeah.
And Gabriel, what about you? What's your what was it that you were saying? Your favorite was earlier on.
Zuri.
Izuri.
Yeah. Sri, gotta remind me the question again.
How do you
How do you-
choose the commander?
Yeah. How do you choose the commander to build?
I think for me, I discussed this previously with my play group, and I always like to get the flavor and the feel of the commander. Like if it stands out to me and it feels like there's a nice direction, the deck sort of builds itself like 50% already.
Wait, hang on. Actually, are you even a fan of Kindred decks? Do you even like Kindred decks?
I like the traditional creature types like elves.
Okay.
And
Goblins.
like goblins. For example, the new squirrel decks didn't really stick to me. So, like, what's
Eldrazi.
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 Yes.
If I have the best two Kindred types, it'll be Elf and Eldrazi.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Eldrazi is a bit hard to build though, colorless and
Well, now there's
humans.
5 color, kind of.
6 colors.
Yeah, 6 colors. Exactly 6 colors.
So that's how I moved towards it. Like for example, Kumina, when it came out, Kumina Tyrant of Oreska, when it first came out, I really loved it. I tried to build around it, but after testing and playing, it didn't really gel together because you can't get across the line most of the time. A lot of problems that I face with Kindred decks are that sometimes they don't get across the line until they print powerful cards like Lord of the Rings, or in this case, some powerful squirrels that drain life.
Well, now there are a lot of new merfolk.
So
Which is also the exciting part about being a Magic player that's been playing for a while, right? Because you have some of these cards for a long time, and then you'll be like, I like this creature. It's pretty. It's the type that I like.
Exactly.
But it's not playable. And then 5 years down the road, and then they print something support, and be like, I remember this, and they just put it together.
Okay, I don't know about not powerful, but it's not strong enough.
Oh,
for
not
you.
strong enough. Not strong enough for you.
I like, for example, Morophon.
Yes,
Okay,
Morophon. Okay,
Ratus,
the generic.
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 Yeah.
In my mind, yes, it's fun to build, but to me, flavor and feel is very important. Like, Morophon is cheating.
Yeah.
Like having a Maskwood Nexus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flavorless.
Yeah, you don't get the enjoyment not only of playing but deck building, because Magic, it's not only
About playing. Yep.
about winning, but it's also deck building. Finding out, hey, what Esmond said, there's this card that's old,
Yeah.
and you can, all of a sudden you find out before everybody, and you play it with your play group, and
Yep.
what card is that? And you're like, look at me.
Okay, I think you've answered the question. You like old creature types.
Old creature types.
But
Is Eldrazi old?
yes, Eldrazi are the
I'm
older.
old.
Aren't they the oldest things in the multiverse?
In terms of, but in terms of print, when was the first Eldrazi printed? Pop quiz.
No idea. Okay, but I just want to touch on that. Since you said Morophon, one of my recent favorites has been Omo. So Omo, Queen of Azula from
the-
MH3.
Yes.
The everything counter.
Everything, yes.
I really, really like it. I mean, it turns everything into Maskwood Nexus, basically. But it doesn't work if she's not on the field. So, to me, I built this, I have this deck. It is my Changeling Kindred deck. So, it just plays all the lords and then makes everything into all creature types. So, Lord of Atlantis suddenly works with Lord of the Illusions guy.
Oh, the one that
Gives hexproof and
the
plus
one
one.
that looks like this.
Yeah, Lord of Unreal. Yeah, Lord of
The guy that
Unreal.
look like this. Why are we doing this podcast? We know nothing about Magic, guys.
I mean, Lord of the Unreal plus Lord of Atlantis, they all have hexproof and Island Walk. Disgusting. Okay, touching on that. That's how I chose Omo.
That is not Kindred.
That is the ultimate Kindred type.
It's like Maskwood Nexus.
Yes, it is Maskwood Nexus in the command zone.
When did Eldrazi first come out? I did a Google search. It says April 23rd, 2010.
Oh.
It says Zendika blog.
yeah.
Yes. Rise of the Eldrazi.
Okay, so Smith.
Oh,
how
for me-
how do you choose your commander?
I like to. Okay, so for me, most of my decks, I have a lot of red decks. So red is my favorite color.
Sure.
So for me, it's like it depends strongly on the color pie as well. So which is why one of my favorite creature type is actually dragon.
Okay,
So I want to show off. I got a Shivan dragon recently.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
No.
a bit they were a bit far. Okay, so I think I still depend very heavily on the color type. Why I say so? Because like for example, merfolk as a kind of creature, I like them, they look nice, but I don't like to play the blue-green typo kind of decks. Because I find that, blue-green, every time when I play, it's a lot of like, I'll do this, I'll draw cards. I'll do this again, I'll draw cards. The whole play experience, while I love them as a creature type, I find the whole play experience very painful for me to build that kind of deck.
Simic value.
Yeah, the
Yes.
seeming value, it's you're just gonna grind,
Painful.
and then you see the three of your friends are like just sitting there looking at you, that kind of stuff. So for me, I like aggressive deck. I like red. So which is why even my favorite creature types are like dragons, pirates, right? So I love that kind of stuff. So to me, the color pie and how the supporting cards make sense of the whole play experience is very important. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick time check. We are 20 minutes in right now. So
Okay.
let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, I like this one. I like this one. Okay, so because just now you talk about this card called Kindred Discovery.
Oh, yes.
Yes, right. So it's one of the very strong supporting card.
Yes.
It's blue, 3 colorless, and 2 blue. Right.
My
Creature
favorite.
type comes in, draw a card. The creature attack, draw a card. Right. So what are some of these Kindred cards must have support that you go into your decks?
Wow.
Oh, that's a very hard question.
Muscle Nexus.
No, foul. No, that one is a foul.
I mean,
right?
Muscle Nexus makes creatures for you of that creature type. It's kind of like black market connections. They make
Yes.
shapeshifters with changeling.
Okay, so that means if you have 30%, like you're saying, right, 100% of the type,
Yeah.
30 cards, all
Okay,
humans,
but this
do
is-
you still put in Kindred? Do you still put in Muscle Nexus?
No, I will not put Muscle Nexus, but I will consider black market connections. You know, I will definitely put in Realm Walker.
Oh yes, Realm
Yes.
Walker.
Ron Walker.
Yeah, Realm Walker.
2 colorless, 1 green, which is a shapeshifter.
Yes,
right?
yes. And then it gives you card advantage from top of your
Shapeshifter
library.
cheating.
No, it's not
Shapeshifter-
shapeshifter, it's changeling.
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 So shapeshifter is the creature type, changeling is the ability, right?
To me, my logic is that it's not cheating because you can't tell what.
But the picture, for example, is a bull.
Yeah, but that's because they chose to draw it as a bull.
But at the same time, for example, let me throw this into the mix. Metallic Mimic, right?
Yes.
It's a shapeshifter, but it does have the synergy for Kindred, which is each other creature you control of the chosen type in the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it,
Yeah.
right? So that's great. So would you put that into your Kindred deck? Is it one of your favorite?
I feel no.
I know. Unless I'm a really aggressive deck or I'm a +1/+1 counter deck.
Yeah, I think it's more
Yeah.
thematic.
Yeah.
That's true.
So for example, if I'm playing Simic Humans, well, like with Kyler, what's that? The Simic Humans, and then he cares about +1 counters.
Yep,
I think
yep.
Metallic Mimic is a good fit there. Yeah.
It's also a good fit in this deck called Magda, Red Dwarves.
Is it?
Because it's also one of those artifact dwarfs that you can actually tap it. You can tap untap with the Clock of
Oh.
Omen, and then you can.
But
Clock
Magda,
of Omen combo.
Yes.
No.
also, I mean, you can search it out with Magda, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter that it's an artifact, right?
No, because you for the Clock of Omen, you need to be an artifact to untap.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's not for Magda, it's for Clock of Omens.
Oh, yeah, but it's always in.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Clock of Omen's combo.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
a Magda combo.
So for me, I also like this card called the Kindred Dominance.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Classic.
So very good. 5 colorless, 2 black. Remover. Very biased. Very biased. One-sided. Most of the time it's one-sided. Yeah.
So, let me find a few more. Choose a creature type.
Cavern of Souls.
Yes, Cavern of Souls.
Camera Souls, yes, it's an auto include.
Oh, this is one of my new favorites. Okay. So, and they shall know no fear. 2 mana, instant speed. Choose a creature type. Those creatures get +1 power and indestructible until end of turn.
Very good.
What's the mana? What's the casting cost?
1 and a white.
Ooh, easy.
Yes. And another one from Lord of the Rings, Raise the Palisade. So I've chucked this into my Omo deck, into my Spirit deck. Yeah. So sorcery, 4 and a blue. Choose a creature type. Return all creatures that aren't of those types to their owner's hands.
Oh,
Mass
very
bounce.
strong.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like we were saying right from the start, right? Like Wizards has been printing
Yes.
a lot of orders, Kindred cards, support cards, and allow. I do believe. Well, I'm not part of Wizards, so don't quote me. Like I think they really consciously printing a lot of this Kindred support,
Yeah.
which really helps new player to be able to build the deck. To make
This
it a lot
is an
easier.
old one. This was one of my old favorites. Harsh Mercy. Harsh Mercy is 2 and a white sorcery. Each player chooses a creature type
Oh.
and then destroy all creatures that are not of a type that has been chosen.
Okay.
Three mana.
3 mana white.
Bot wipe, yeah. So if you are playing your fake Kindred decks and you have all these fake elves, they're just gonna get wiped.
You 3 mana, destroy 1 creature. But
Well, one of your creatures and then more creatures there.
For me, it's an artifact, very classic artifact called Coat of Arms.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
man.
I hate that card.
I hate that
I hate
card.
that card.
No,
I
no.
love that card.
Well, I play it in Omo only. because it counts every single creature.
Doubles.
Yeah, the math is horrible.
I think it makes sense back then when the creatures type will just, most of the time, it's just a single type, right?
Yes.
Goblin is a goblin, elves is a elves. But now we got the super type, subtype, and wow. Then you can see this guy, it's a warrior, dwarf, something else, right?
Yeah.
So I
It's
think
too
it's
much.
because of that make Coat of Arms so annoying to play.
Yeah.
It's the play experience is just painful.
Yeah, very
The
painful.
less painful one is Vanquisher's Banner.
Oh, classic.
Classic. They reprint a lot of those in the pre-cons these days.
You get to draw a card. So strong.
Yeah, and there's that 3 mana one, Icon of Ancestry. So I used to play this a lot
I
in.
don't use that.
Oh, well, it's a 3 mana lord. Creatures of the chosen type get
Oh.
+1/+1, right? And then for 3 mana, you tap it, look at the top 3 cards, and then reveal a creature type of that type, right? So it's card advantage plus a lord. But recently, I've been cutting it because I usually want a creature or rock in this 3 mana slot.
So what about Harrod's Horn?
Oh yes.
Herald's Hall, I love Herald's
Oh
Hall.
yeah,
Colorless.
yeah.
As Harrod's Horn enter,
Yeah.
you choose a creature type. Creature spell of that type get discount
You
from
might
one
as well say
colorless.
Urza's Incubator.
Oh,
Oh.
no, I don't play that.
It depends on what creature type. If you're playing elves, don't play
Yeah.
Urza Incubator.
Yeah.
If you're playing dragons, yes to Urza Incubator.
Well, but Herald's Horn, I remember when I first got into these things, it was so expensive.
Oh, it
Like
was?
there were no reprints. I bought it
It's
for
only
like
in the cat deck.
yeah, it was only in one deck. Yeah, the cat deck. Oh yeah, I have cats as well. So yeah, it was like I think I bought it at $18 or something.
Oh, now it's like, I think what, $3?
Yeah, now
$2?
let me
I
see.
think there's a lot of reprints, right? Like
Yeah, it's
recently.
like $4.
Yeah, a lot of all these reprints recently within the pre-cons. So I have this habit. Okay, I'm going off topic. I like to buy pre-cons.
Yeah.
I take the cards apart, and it works.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
with all
yeah.
these Kindred decks lying around, right? Great. So those are some of those cards that we play in our Kindred support. So if you guys are looking at building, I hope that we give you some inspiration. And I'm going to move on to the
Yep.
next one. Is there an alpha creature type? Is there a creature type that is better than others?
Come on, it's dragons. It's dragons.
So, what do you think? Is there like this type is like, okay, for example, you're going to bring it down, regardless of your commander, right? Okay, quote unquote regardless, somewhat regardless, right? Like, oh, I'm a dragon, I'm a tribal dragon, I'm a kindred dragon, you're a kindred elves. Is it going to be always going to be the dragon is the alpha,
Of course.
apex?
I personally don't think. I mean, I'm going to take a wild swing here. I personally don't think there's a best deck. You know, at the end of the day, Magic is a game of variance. You don't really have. I mean, just speaking like playing the game itself. But if you're really talking about which is the best creature type that really is going to trash every other creature type, Eldrazi. Eldrazi.
Actually, that is legit. That is legit.
Yeah.
Eldrazi.
I was-
You let the Eldrazi
yeah.
hit the board just one.
That is true. That's true.
So
Honestly, yeah. Well, fair enough. I was gonna say like 1 for 1, like you go like the best.
Yeah, Eldrazi you would.
Yeah.
If it's
Oh.
1 for 1, I say Eldrazi. If it's synergy, goblins and elves actually might be in the top 5.
Like in terms of like the support that the game has, right?
Yeah.
Like which, I mean, like for me, I think dragon is crazy, right? There are so many of them that has like Terror of the Pigs,
Yeah.
right? We have the
I mean, Dragon.
Earth
Dragon. is just-
Dragon,
oh.
Eminence,
Yeah.
right? And Ghostman. I love Ghostman Dragon.
Ghostman
He
is great.
get treasures, right? So I think based on the quality of card, based on each of them, right? The quality of card, I think Dragon is very, very high.
Yeah.
But if you talk about elves, a lot of them are like, I tap, I create 1 green. I
Tap to add green, yeah.
2 green.
It's elf coming together to become stronger.
Talking about coming together, what about this very original creature type? Sleevers. Sleevers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he has never spoken to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
So
they're the one of the only, if I'm not wrong, I think they're one of the very few original creatures types
Yes.
besides Eldrazi,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's not like the elves, the goblins, they appear.
Yeah, you should
everywhere
like it. OG
Yeah.
creature types.
He has never spoken to me because I always found the creature to be a bit slimy.
It's like Eldrazi. Eldrazi are so
Eldrazi
slimy.
is not slimy. You know, like slimy dragons.
Yeah.
Dragons.
Spaghetti
slimy
monsters.
Scales. Cheating creatures in. Just not even being on the battlefield.
Yeah,
2
so-
mana discount.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off. For the same reason, that's why I don't like slivers. Because I find them very icky.
Oh, really?
Like Eldrazi. Yeah.
So you don't like them because of the looks?
Yes.
Or how they look, the
So
art?
yeah, so for me like art matters, the
flavor.
The flavor, the fantasy. That's why I like dragons. Because you look at the dragon. Let me pull it up. I mean, I play with the.
He's
secret
going to show
lair.
off his very pretty Earl
Even the
Dragon.
dinosaurs are also pretty cool.
Yeah. True. But there's no 5-color dino, so that's a fail.
Morphon.
Stop it.
You're just into this whole cheating thing.
So yeah, this Justin Jones, the secret lair dragon.
That's really good.
It's,
I agree.
yeah.
Somebody
yeah.
got it signed.
Of course.
So,
yeah. So it's just, I don't know how to say, but when I look at the card, it screams to me like alpha creature
I
type.
thought the Scarecrow one was pretty good as well.
Or the Reaper.
Oh, that's also 5C.
What's it
That's
called?
the 5C Scarecrow. I remember that one.
Reaper, was it Reaper?
Under the same secret lair.
Oh yeah, same secret lair. Can I find it?
Can you click this?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Ripple
Oh, right.
King.
Oh,
Ripple
Ripple King,
King.
yes.
Ripple King.
Ripple King's really good. What's the last one?
I mean, the Sliver Overlord.
Oh, Silver Overlord,
Yeah,
right.
was in the set also.
Sliver Overlord. So I like Sliver because when I was younger, I played the Tempest part-time a little bit. So like Sliver Queen was like super cool. So and back then it wasn't like a EDH, right? So it's not singleton format. So we have all the old school Tempest Sliver coming in and they support each other. The whole synergy of when you play in a 60 card, it's amazing. Like
Oh, very strong.
everybody just gets bigger. The hive mind, right? The hive mind.
Yeah.
So everybody just fly together. Everybody just gets stronger together. So I think for me, a lot of my nostalgia part of things. If you ask me, I'm a little bit disappointed that we don't get more development on the creature type.
Well, we
right?
did get a new Sliver set, right?
We did have it. I think
MH3 was a
MH,
yeah, there was a Slivers.
MH1, I think. MH1 has slivers. Does MH3 have slivers?
I remember they just reprinted Slivers quite recently.
I know they have those secret lair cards.
Yeah, in the
They have the
secret
full
lair.
frames, slivers and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but there's not much development of sliver as a whole. So, but yeah, I think they are pretty cool because they're so original.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
so that's about alpha type, right?
Dragons.
So, okay, so now we're gonna do a very quick game for the both of you because I'm the one looking at the answers.
All right, let's
so
go.
you guys gonna guess. Okay, for the Kindred, so we've spoken a lot about all these different types. Okay, based on the one and only truth about EDH, this popular website, edhrag.com. Guess the top 5 Kindred creatures type based on the number of decks built on the database by EDHRAG. Top 5. Guess the top 5. Let's start with number 5. What do you guys think number 5 is?
This is so hard.
Wait, we have to guess together, right?
I guess you can like maybe like.
Can I just tell you what that I think the top
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sure,
yeah.
sure,
Let's do that, let's do that, let's do that.
Sure,
Okay,
sure,
You wanna go first?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Okay, I know
Try
the
not
top
listen.
3,
Okay, I close my ears.
Dragons. And then I think elves. Vampires.
Okay, you're talking a bit loud, so I can hear you.
We didn't think this through on how to play these mechanics.
Yeah,
We'll do
yeah.
better next time. Sorry guys, we'll do better next time.
Merfolk. And the last one, I would think, would be humans.
Okay, so do we want to do like a mastermind kind of thing to tell you with some advantage?
No.
No?
So you just remember what I said.
Okay, I remember what he said.
Okay,
I remember what he
then
said.
I say mine. So my top 5, I think humans, dragons, elves, goblins. Wow, it's between like vampires, merfolk.
I think Goblin is beyond this actually.
I'm gonna go with vampires.
Okay. So very interesting. The things that you guys mentioned, it's within like the top 7 or so,
Oh, okay.
right? But there's one that you guys
Oh wait,
missed out.
what did you say?
I said
Oh,
humans, dragons,
same.
Elves,
Same.
vampire,
Same.
merfolk.
Oh, so no difference, goblins and merfolk.
Merfolk,
Oh, okay.
Right. So very interestingly, you guys missed out one that is actually very, very popular.
Oh, wait, what can it be?
There's this one that's super popular, but we missed out.
Sliver.
In fact, throughout the whole podcast, we didn't mention that type at all.
What?
I didn't mention it. We didn't mention it at all. It totally slipped my mind at all as well. I mean,
What?
yeah.
It's artifact. No, artifact is not.
No.
Okay. I don't
Okay,
know.
we shouldn't have too much of a blank
Yeah.
blank space for this podcast.
What is it?
It's actually zombie.
Oh my gosh!
None of us spoke about
We don't play
zombie. We don't play zombie at
honestly,
all.
We are not blank players.
Oh yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
zombie was totally okay. So the top 5. Number 1 is dragon, obviously,
yeah.
and then we have elves, and then because zombie, vampire, and the 5th one is actually dinosaur.
Oh man!
Because of the recent LCI.
Penlaza. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the new one.
Wait, sorry. This is what time frame? Past.
All or
Is there supposed to be a time frame? It's just
think
I
it's
just
really
clicked
all.
based on this. Yeah. Or so based on like today, I guess, based on the date it's recorded.
Oh.
But it's not too far off actually. So dinosaur comes in 5th at 44,402, and then humans comes in 6th with
Oh, not bad.
40,056.
So very
Next.
close.
7th is goblin,
Yes.
and then we have angels, Eldrazi, Sliver, then merfolk. So actually merfolk is not the top 10 even. It's 11th.
Angels is actually a big one.
Angels is a big one.
Yeah, I'm surprised we totally missed out zombie. We totally missed out angels.
Just name all the Dominaria creature types.
Oh, it's true. It's true. You're supposed to like it, right? All the old school ones.
But you don't think about zombies because like they're
You don't
dead.
play
They're dead.
zombies.
They're dead. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not a zombie fan.
Distraught.
Yeah. Not my kind of thing.
right. And there's a lot of very interesting ones. So like, okay, the next topic we talk about, right? Like, you know, recently they changed some of the cards. They updated some of the cards. What's that? Erecta or something?
Errata, yeah.
Errata, some of the cards, which is like the lizards,
Yeah.
the Vasciano
Viashino,
became
Viashino.
lizards, and how do you pronounce that?
Viashino.
Viashino. Yeah.
Viashino became
Lizards.
lizards,
Yeah.
right? So there are certain creature types that probably because of how they look or something, I didn't really read the whole press release, so I don't know what's the problem behind some of this. But most likely it's because they want to consolidate some of these creature types. Do you think that there are some of these creature types that are very, very rare that eventually you can just put it somewhere else? Right? Like for example, I'm loading this thing. It's very interesting. There are creatures like, for example,
I mean, there's like fungus.
fungus.
There used to be fungus. Like that became fungusaur, became a dinosaur, I think.
Right? How
Yeah.
Yeah.
So- how do we marry some of these creature types, I guess?
Oh, I mean, there is a creature type fungus,
Yes.
and then there's also a creature called fungusaur with a type fungusaur.
That's like one of the
And then now-
rarest.
Yeah, so now it became fungus dinosaur. So it's been errated.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting. I'm like going through some of this very random thing. There's this creature type drone
Oh wow.
Oh, drone.
because of this card. Dread drone, Eldrazi drone. So there are drone.
Oh yeah, there is a creature type drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen like drone.
Like for example, hyena. There's a creature type hyena.
I remember those. I love those on Lion Kings.
Wouldn't it be a dog?
There are 6 hyenas.
Hyena. I'm like, isn't it a dog? Shouldn't it be a dog? I mean, it's just speaking out loud.
But I think it's great that there are these like how you call it?
Obscure.
Yeah, obscure, like small. Like I think, for example, dogs and cats used to be nothing. What?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Until they released like the commander deck, like the
If
cat.
there's one type that I want them to rise, is the Cyclops. I think the Cyclops are really cool.
True. There's a Cyclops type.
They are huge, with one eye.
Yeah.
True blue monster. They can be
Yeah.
very scary. They are in red,
Boboric Moss.
but yet there's only 23 of them.
Well, talking about that, Homunculus is also quite funny.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Homunculus.
Homunculus is technically a cyclops.
Yeah, it's a small Cyclops.
exactly.
Yeah.
They
Together,
could
they have 2 eyes.
Talking about rare creature types, I think one thing that I really wanted to build around was the Nephilims.
Oh,
They are not commanders,
yeah.
and there are only 5 Nephilims.
Yeah.
Very awkward creatures that appear to be commanders but have very weak abilities.
Very
apparently.
icky.
I like
very
this
slimy.
Kind of art. It feels very grim,
Disgusting.
very
Gross.
Love what?
I mean,
What's
look at
it
it. That's disgusting, man.
called? It's beautiful.
Right.
Lovecraftian. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Oh,
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, I think it's great. Like, it provides a lot more space, I think, for the Wizards team to do more, explore a bit more into what these creatures can do. Like, for example, they might come up with a 5-color Nephilim, right? They can
Yeah, oh my
incorporate all of these Nephilims. That'll be pretty fun.
Like Time Lord.
Yeah. Doctor Who.
Doctor Who was, well, it was very confusing time for me.
Yeah.
That I mean, because I think I didn't watch the show at all and that stuff.
Same, yeah.
So that didn't really like make sense to me. Yeah. So yeah, that's creature type. And where are we now? Time check. Do we have time for something else?
Yeah, we have about 10 more minutes. Yeah. Can we do anything?
Closing question. We have a closing question.
Oh, okay. So each creature type, right? Like we talk about a lot about all these various creature type. Let's like for example, what are these creature types like being remembered for? Right? Good at. What are they good at? Okay, to give you an example, right? Vampires, I think we all think it's good at life gain, right? There's a lot of ETB and life gain, right? So if we talk about like what is the thing that you remember for, like elves, create mana,
Yep.
right? And dinosaurs, what's dinosaur good for, right? So I want to explore a little bit, like, you know, based on our knowledge of such things, so that we want to share a little bit with whoever is watching this, especially the newer players as well, right? So to share some of this stereotype of the creature type, so to assist them. So this is not a question or whatever, right? So it's more of like, hey, how can we share some of this knowledge for our viewers to explore their deck building process as well, right? So for me, like I mentioned, the color type is very important to me, right? So to me, it's I built my deck with the colors, and then based on that, there's some, because of the color pie and how the cards are designed that way as well. So that's about it, right? So in terms of which creature type links to what kind of ability, if I may put it that way, right? Will you recommend for like newer players to build easily?
Yeah, I mean, I think a great way to approach it is like the precons. So for example, like you say, vampires, life gain. And then for me, when I built spirits, it was very into tokens. So, you know, spirits, they just like appear out of nowhere. And then in modern spirits, you know, you really rely on Ether Vial to kind of flash it in. So I ended up putting all the Verdelcon Ori, you know, Leyline of Anticipation.
So it's just instant, everything flash.
Yeah,
The
Rattle
flavor of the
Chains.
spirits,
Yeah, the
right?
flavor of the spirits. So in all the different creature type decks, they all have like a underlying theme.
Yes,
like a
exactly. That's
sub-theme.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yep.
So for example, I know Daryl's Humans.
Oh, yep.
He plays
yep.
+1 counters as a sub-theme. And it really depends on the commander, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing Izuri, then you want all your elves to tap for mana, I guess. Or like, I don't know.
To
Find a lot of mana.
To run very quickly.
Yeah. So building around the commander's abilities, I guess.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the tip.
Yeah, that's my tip.
I think for me, there are two layers. The first layer, yes, it's the creature type and what the commander wants to do. The second layer would be the flavor of how you want to show off your kindred type. So for example, pirates. I think
I love
pirates is extremely flavorful.
Yeah.
And you want to steal your opponent's things and sacrifice them and then to do something with it. Or for example, Eldrazi, each Eldrazi you cast impacts everybody. Or it impacts,
Well,
is it strong enough?
yeah, impact something. Yeah.
Like you are the herald of the Eldrazi's. But kudos to the Wizards actually. Recently, all the Kindred precons really do feel
Yes,
flavorful.
very.
And even
very.
out of the box, they are a lot more playable compared to
Yeah.
the older ones.
Well, okay, I must say like Arabo, because I ended up getting the Arabo deck as well. I think you had it first,
Yeah.
right? It's the same series as the Earth Dragon. And
That's those were the first
first Kindred.
commanders.
Yeah. And yeah, things like Feline Sovereign, the cat
It
that,
felt good to play.
destroys enchantments. So it really gives your cats that added flavor. Like, you know, the cat likes to destroy things,
Yep,
right? So
yep.
you destroy things.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah.
exactly. And I really like this. I think this is probably one of the few things that all of us are aligned on, right? In terms of the kindred part of things
Yes.
and the flavor of it, right?
Yeah.
Like recently, the Bloom Barrel, the rabbits, I love it. We played the game and then
Yep.
it's like rabbits, they just multiply.
Yep.
Like cast and
Tokens,
just
tokens.
offspring, multiply. So I love the rabbit deck because it's like so flavorful. Exactly like what you mentioned, right? Like pirates is to steal thing. So this rabbits is just to multiply.
Yep.
So to me, it's like if you want to really lean into this whole kindred,
Yeah.
make the best experience out of it, right? Play as much as possible the cards that really lean into the creature type. I think that will give a very good experience. And my second tip is that don't play werewolves.
Werewolves.
The werewolves deck. Yeah, don't play the werewolves decks. I have one. It's pretty decent. It's fun. It's pretty. But the flipping of cards, the day, the night, the flipping of cards, play 2 spell, didn't play spell, remember all the trigger.
Keeping track of day and night is horrible.
Yeah. Painful. It's painful. So that's my tip for you guys. Don't play that deck.
Okay, but speaking of, I mean, I know it's hard to kind of, if you're building a deck, listening to all this is very generic, right? So, how many of what kind of cards to put in, you have all your staples, like things that make shapeshifters, things like Realm Walker, like Changelings.
Yep.
So, for me, if you're talking about pirates, right, the only real pirate commander, I think, is Admiral Brass.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Well, the 2 brasses are okay.
Malcolm, K9 Navigator. That's the best pirate.
Okay, yes, I agree. Those
Best
are fine also. Those are fine. Like, you can partner and, but you're missing out another color for no reason. Like, you can play brass and play them inside Beckett Brass.
But they are in the command zone.
Yeah,
Jewel Lotus.
Yeah,
turn
but
one,
you're missing
turn
out
two,
on
hit.
another color.
Yes. So you can see that I can tell from this episode, right? Something I learned about you is like you really like to play the 5 colors.
Yes, okay.
Right.
So my philosophy is that if you're playing a Kindred deck, you want access to as many of those creatures as possible. Which is why, for example, dinosaurs.
Color.
Yes, no, like all colors.
He wants all colors.
Yeah.
But dinosaurs are naturally Naya.
Tetsimok is black. Nezahal is blue.
Yeah. Exactly his point. Exactly
I
his
want
point.
to play them. Yeah.
And not play more.
Elves is naturally green.
Well,
I
you-
don't have to force a black into it. That's how I feel.
Well, then
That's
you
how I
don't
feel.
have access to all the elves. That's my thinking. Like,
So Wizards of the Coast, if you're watching this, we want a 5C ninja deck. We want a 5C elf deck.
look at what they did with Assassin's Creed, Ezio.
Yeah.
Perfect. Ezio is so good.
It's just like the color identity, right? It doesn't have to be the whole
No,
card.
and it cares about assassins, right?
Exactly,
And it
exactly.
does assassin things. So it's not like a Kenrith.
But it's still a black.
Well,
assassin.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So even though Kenrith is my 5C humans commander, I don't personally think it's a very great humans commander.
Oh, he's not a great human. He's done bad stuff.
It's a good human. But it's not a good commander for humans. It's just a generic 5-color legend that happens to be a human.
Happens to be a human.
Yeah.
Oh, because it doesn't lean into any of the
Yeah,
human synergy at all.
Yeah. So that's where it's a bit, rocky for me.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I noticed, right? You are like, oh, I want as many color as possible, so I can put in all the.
You want to play the best
within.
the best creatures of that type. I think that's what you want to do. Well, that's what I want to do.
That's true. Okay, so we have actually pretty much run through the list of things that we have planned.
Great.
And then we are at where are we?
Yeah, we're just at 50 something minutes.
Great. So this is the number of questions that we are comfortable with talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Then, as you can tell, we are not really very planned for this. We are like, guys, let's just do this.
We just want to get this done. This is our pilot episode. We're starting a new podcast series. And of course, we're going to get more members of the crew. So Gero's here today. Hopefully, we can get Paul on, Matthew, Liang Ying, the other guys on. It doesn't just have to be 3 people. We can do like 4 people, 5 people, get more opinions.
Yep.
Yeah.
It can be like a, like just coffee chat.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
can have more fun.
Yeah.
We can have more fun. So how do we get more fun is that for you guys to leave comments.
Yes.
Let us know what you want to watch. Even if you have a specific topic that you'd like to hear from us, yeah, please feel free.
Yeah. Topics. Let us know topics. Let us know how, whether you want more stats, want more numbers, you want more like games or trivia that Smith did.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's quite fun as well.
We should do it properly next time. Maybe like with a whiteboard or something.
Yeah.
We should plan for it. We should plan
Yes,
for it.
a whiteboard.
Yeah. We should plan for it. Sorry guys. Production value.
Yeah. And I do want to keep this as a live stream for members. So, members get to watch it first. And then after that, I'll release it to the general public. Maybe slightly edited, I don't know. But I think as a live stream, this has been quite fun. We have a few scenes, we have the Scryfall cards popping up. And let us know if it's difficult to follow or easy to follow. How can we make it easier? Should we talk slower? That kind of thing.
If your wish is for me to pronounce my word clearer, I think some of the words I just can't pronounce. My English is bad. That's about it.
Yeah, but that's all. So leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched it all the way here, appreciate it so much. And we'll see you next time for episode 2.
Yes, thank you.